Attention! Your Social Security check may be going up soon if your birth date falls in a certain group. In this video, I'll explain who's affected, why the bump happens, and what you need to check now. Stay with me. Hi everyone, I'm Your Name. Over the years, I've helped many seniors understand their federal benefits: Social Security, SSDI, SSI, Medicare, VA, and how small policy shifts can produce surprise changes in your check. It's easy to feel caught off guard when your benefit suddenly rises or drops with little warning. That's exactly what the title suggests: checks increasing for certain birth dates. So let's dig into who that means, why it's happening now in late 2025, and how you can prepare or verify your own benefit. First, let's set the stage with context. Each month, the Social Security Administration, SSA, pays retirement, disability, and survivor benefits on a schedule determined by your birth date, usually the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month, depending on whether your birthday falls days 1 to 10, 11 to 20, or 21 to 31. That's why you often hear if your birthday is between 21 and 31, your check comes on the fourth Wednesday. Because of this schedule, when SSA implements a cost of living adjustment, COLA, or retroactive increase, some birth date groups see their first new check earlier than others. In that sense, checks are jumping for certain birth date groups before others. In 2025, the COLA is 2.5% for both Social Security retirement, disability benefits, and SSI. That means some people will see their increased check as soon as their next payment cycle, while others must wait a week or two depending on their birth date. Now, why does this matter right now in October 2025? First, note that the SSA's announcement of the 2026 COLA has been delayed to October 24, 2025, due to the federal government shutdown affecting the Consumer Price Index data release. While that affects next year's bump, it doesn't delay the 2025 increase. It's already in effect for January onward. But what is new are retroactive adjustments and policy changes in 2025 that may cause additional surprise raises for specific people, depending on their benefit type or if they were subject to rules like WEP/GPO. Plus, higher Medicare premiums or overpayment recoveries can unexpectedly lower a check, so the net effect may vary. We'll touch on that. Also, as of September 30, 2025, paper checks for Social Security are being discontinued, so direct deposit or similar electronic payment is mandatory. If your banking information is outdated, you risk delays. Let's walk through the relevant programs and how birth date timing or benefit rules may cause your check to increase. Starting with Social Security retirement benefits, as mentioned, all SNC, Social Security, retirement benefits received the 2.5% COLA in 2025, raising the average check from about $1,927 2024 to $1,976 2025. Because of the birth date schedule, those born later in the month might see their raise sooner in their cycle, e.g., in a check earlier in January than someone whose birthday places them later in the monthly pay schedule. More importantly, many people also got retroactive payments in 2025 due to the elimination of two offset provisions: WEP, Windfall Elimination Provision, and GPO, Government Pension Offset. Those provisions had reduced Social Security benefits for individuals who also receive certain government pensions, common among teachers, local government employees, and others. In 2025, Congress eliminated those offsets, meaning millions are eligible for back pay to January 2024. The SSA's own press statements say many retroactive payments were to be processed by March 2025 and deposited into the bank accounts SSA has on file. After that, the regular monthly benefit paid starting April 2025 reflects the higher ongoing benefit. What this means is, if your birth date gives you a check earlier in the month, your first bump check may hit sooner than someone whose check falls later. So for some, the increase looks like it happened overnight. Others must wait a few more days. It's less about your birth year in this context and more about your birthday and how SSA schedules payments. But let's pause and talk about deductions. Even though your gross benefit increased by 2.5% plus possibly more under WEP GPO removal, your net benefit might increase less or even temporarily dip because of rising Medicare Part B premiums, IRMA surcharges for higher incomes, or the repayment of overpayments. In fact, many Social Security recipients reported smaller checks in July 2025 than they expected, not because benefits were cut, but because deductions increased, especially for Medicare Part B and IRMA adjustments or overpayment recoupments. For example, the standard Part B premium in 2025 is $174.70 a month, though higher income beneficiaries face additional surcharges, IRMA. If your income changed, for instance, you had a capital gain or retirement distribution in 2023 that affects your 2025 IRMA determination, your shares may jump. So it's vital to check the line item deductions in your SSA benefit statements. Now let me turn to SSI, Supplemental Security Income. SSI is a needs-based program for seniors, the blind, or disabled people with limited income and assets. It is not based on work history. The COLA of 2.5% also applies to SSI in January 2025, so the federal maximum benefit for an individual is $967 a month, and for a couple, $1,450 a month. Some states supplement those amounts further, and your actual payment depends on your countable income, which is subtracted from the maximum. Because SSI payments occur on the first of each month or the preceding business day, these increases are less staggered by birth date. But if you also receive Social Security, the interplay might cause perceived differences in total monthly income. Turning to SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, SSDI recipients effectively receive the same COLA as Social Security retirement beneficiaries, so that 2.5% bump applies to SSDI benefits too. But SSDI payments are sometimes staggered by the same payment schedule, second, third, fourth Wednesday, based on birth date. Moreover, SSDI recipients must also comply with rules about trial work periods or substantial gainful activity (SGA) limits. If your medical condition improves or your earnings cross thresholds, SSA may reevaluate your benefit, which could lead to sudden increases or terminations. And if your income changed, deductions or recoupments may apply, so always report work activity promptly. What about VA, Veterans Affairs benefits? VA disability or pension benefits are not tied to SSA's COLA and are managed through the VA. But many veterans get periodic cost of living increases in those programs as well, sometimes synced to SSA's COLA, though on independent authority. In 2026, some estimates point to a possible 2.7% VA COLA increase. If Congress or VA authorizes a one-time veteran stimulus, that too could cause a jump. But no confirmed new stimulus has been announced as of October 2025. It's wise to check your VA benefit portal or monthly statements for any new increases or authorized lump sums. Speaking of stimulus checks, there has been speculation in 2025 about special payments targeting Social Security, SSI, SSDI, or VA recipients, sometimes ranging from $1,800 to $5,108 in rumor mill reports. However, as of October 2025, no verifiable stimulus package for those benefits has been officially confirmed. I urge you not to count on rumored checks and always verify via SSA.gov, IRS.gov, or VA.gov to avoid scams. Let's also discuss Medicare for seniors, typically those 65 plus or qualifying via SSDI. When your Social Security check increases, your Medicare Part B medical insurance and Part D drug coverage premiums may also rise, which can offset some of your gains. In fact, analysts warn that up to 40% of a COLA bump could be eaten by higher Medicare premiums in some years. Also, high-income beneficiaries pay IRMA surcharges that increase Part B or D premiums based on 2023 tax returns. If your income dropped significantly since 2023, retirement, loss of assets, etc., you may be able to request an IRMA reduction appeal using Form SSA 44. If approved, that lowers your premiums and thereby increases your net benefit. Now, I want to pause and acknowledge the stress this can cause. Many seniors depend almost entirely on Social Security income, and sudden fluctuations, either up or down, can trigger concern. Did I misreport something? Did SSA make a mistake? Am I in trouble? Please know, many of these changes are systemic, due to nationwide laws or cost adjustments, not personal errors. That said, you do have the right and responsibility to monitor your benefit, raise questions with SSA or VA, and correct errors ASAP. So how do you check whether you're in that birth date group, seeing an early benefit bump, or whether your benefit will change soon? Here are steps you can take. First, sign in or create your My Social Security account at ssa.gov. That will let you see benefit statements, upcoming notices, and breakdowns of deductions. Second, watch your mail or the message center in SSA. COLA notices typically arrive in December or early January, and a special notice may revisit retroactive or offset changes. Third, check your benefit payment schedule, which Wednesday your check arrives, and see whether your next check should reflect the COLA or offset removal. Fourth, review your deductions in the benefit statement, Medicare Part B, Part D, IRMA, taxes, and possible recovery of overpayments. Fifth, if you suspect your net check is too low, contact SSA immediately, phone or secure message, and request a detailed accounting. Use your Social Security number, benefit ID, and documentation, prior benefit statements, tax returns, etc. If needed, visit your local SSA field office. Sixth, ensure your bank info and mailing address in SSA and VA are up to date, especially now that paper checks are phased out. Let me illustrate with a hypothetical example. Mr. Green, born on the 25th of the month, receives retirement benefits. Because of his birth date, his benefit is scheduled for the fourth Wednesday of each month. In January 2025, with the 2.5% COLA, his new increased benefit might arrive in that scheduled check on the fourth Wednesday. Meanwhile, someone born earlier in the month, say the 5th, gets payment on the second Wednesday, so their January bump might show earlier. Mr. Green also used to have a state pension, and in earlier years his Social Security was reduced under WEP. In March 2025, he receives a retroactive payment restoring the offset. Starting April, his regular monthly benefit reflects that full restored amount. But in July, his check is slightly lower than expected because his Medicare Part B premium increased or IRMA surcharge applied. Later, in 2026, once announced, he may see another COLA, but if Medicare or IRMA rises again, that too may eat into his net. So over time, his benefit jumps are mixed with deductions, which can make it feel unpredictable. Before concluding, a few further notes. In 2025, the maximum earnings subject to Social Security tax, the wage cap, increased to $176,100. Also, the earnings limit for those under full retirement age is $23,400 per year for 2025. For those reaching full retirement age during the year, $62,160. Above these thresholds, SSA may deduct benefits, one for every $2 over the first limit, one for every $3 for the second limit. Also, note that in 2026, the SSA expects to announce a new COLA, possibly around 2.2. 7% on October 24, 2025, pending CPI data release. Be ready for that upcoming shift. If at any time you get a notice from SSA that your benefit is increasing, take it seriously. But don't panic. It could simply be your birth date cycle catching the COLA, or an offset reversal. Log into your account, check your deductions, and compare with past statements. If it seems wrong, raise a question. And if you feel comfortable, share your experience in the comments below. For instance, did your check jump this month? And if so, by how much? That helps others see patterns they might miss. If you found this explanation useful, tap like, share with a friend or family member who relies on Social Security, and subscribe so I can bring you updates as new laws or announcements roll out. In summary, yes, Social Security checks may increase first for certain birth date groups simply because of the way SSA schedules payments, based on whether your birthday is 1/10, 11/20, or 21/31. Everyone eligible for the 2025 COLA, 2.5%, gets the bump, but some will see it sooner in their cycle than others. Add to that the 2025 elimination of WEP and GPO, which triggers retroactive payments and permanently higher benefits for many, and you have additional potential jumps. But don't forget, deductions, Medicare, IRMA, taxes, overpayment recovery can reduce the net increase. For SSI and SSDI, similar COLA bumps apply, with different timing, and VA benefits may have independent increases later. To protect yourself, check your My Social Security account frequently, review upcoming notices and deductions, confirm your payment schedule and banking info, and contact SSA or VA promptly if anything seems off. So your next steps: sign into your SSA portal, check whether your next check date should reflect the COLA or retroactive increase, review your deductions, confirm your bank and address info, mark October 24, 2025 for the next COLA announcement, and if something doesn't look right, contact SSA or VA with documentation ready. You deserve transparency and certainty. Thank you for watching. Stay well, stay informed, and I'll see you next time.